Are we live?
Yeah.
Superb. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the first ever 90-minute workshop on this channel. And oh boy, that's a good start. So first, welcome to the first ever 90-minute workshop. This is a character design crash course. And in this next 90 minutes, what I'm going to be doing is simply breaking down my process of how I design and draw original characters. I'm going to show you my framework, the principles that I use, the results that the 20% is going to bring you 80% of the results. Couple cut to the screen, and again I'm and I'm going to also show you how you can learn this too. So that is sort of like a little summary of what we're going to do right now. So the workshop doesn't start for like 6 more minutes or so. So I just want to sort of give that little intro right there for people who are going to tune in later on, right? So just want to, yeah. So now you can just go back to my thing. Couple. So yep, yeah. I think couple. I don't want to be giving you instructions like this, right? All right. So how's it going? How many people are in right now?
254.
254. All right. So where are you guys from? Like basically, we'll start in like 6 minutes. We'll start in like 5 to 6 minutes time. So where are you guys from? And yeah, how are you guys actually? And do you like the setup? Look at this. It's all nice, right? It's all nice. I got the Goku statue right here. It's pretty much similar to drawing camp. And man, where are they from? I see a lot of comments.
India, Maharashtra, Bangalore, Nepal, Kolkata, Mumbai,
Okay,
Switzerland, Pondicherry, Punjab, Singapore, Philippines.
lots of Indians,
Ireland.
Singapore's, Filipinos. That is nice. All right.
Yeah, America, Philippines. Yeah, Pakistan, Uttarakhand,
Uh huh. Oh boy.
Pakistan,
I don't
England,
think they can hear you, but yeah, sure. Uttarakhand, Pakistan, then where else? Punjab,
Punjab, Chennai,
Delhi,
England,
England,
Australia, Kerala,
Australia, Kerala. That's a
Ireland.
nice England, Australia, Kerala, Punjab. There's some nice stark contrast right there. That is nice. Thank you for tuning in. So here's the deal, right? In the next 90 minutes. Now, this is a 90-minute workshop, but I'm pretty damn sure it's gonna go more than 90 minutes because I have like so many things that I want to share with you today. And at the end of this workshop, right? At the end of this workshop, you just have one goal, which is give you something that you can start using right away. And I'm just going to show you how I do things, right? That's the goal. I want to make you understand how I do things so that you can do that yourself, right? That is the whole idea behind this workshop. All right, cool. So is it 7:15?
Uh, 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes? Yeah, we'll wait 2 to 3 more minutes. Yeti? Right, I'll connect. All right, this is gonna be fun. I want to turn on the AC. We have a storm going on outside, so that is nice, right? Yeah, like everything is set up right here, and there's a storm going on outside. So, nice time to do a live workshop. That's too much AC right there. I'm gonna slow down the speed. That is nice. Cool. All right, what's going on in the comment section, couple? Hit me.
Is this going to be posted after the stream ends?
Yes, it's gonna be up. So this live stream, this workshop is gonna be up till this Jan 6th, 6 o'clock. After which we'll take it down. We'll put out like an edited version, so it's more nicer. We can cut out all this stuff where I'm like doing all that stuff, right? So we'll cut those parts out, and yeah.
The next question is, you're from Tamil Nadu, right? So can you speak something in Tamil?
No, I'm from Kerala, by the way. In the morning, huh? I'm just kidding. I'm from Tamil Nadu. And yeah, I don't know Hindi, by the way, so just don't ask me to say something in Hindi, right? So yeah, there's
Jiran Darji is like, I love you, please marry me.
who?
Jiran Darji.
Okay, you know what? I don't like unsolicited marriage proposals from online. So let's just take the business couple.
So will we be having any exercises for the captain?
Okay, yeah. So for this one, no, because I have enough material for like 2.5 hours, 2 hours or so. So grab your popcorns or cakes or sandwiches, pizzas or whatever you're into, lizards, rats. so so I don't think we will be doing any exercises. What you need to do is make sure you have your pencil, pen, or paper ready wherever you take notes. And also, I'm going to send out a PDF of all the slides that I'm showing to you today, right? On my website, you can just sign up with your email, and I'll send it out like in 3 days or so, 3 to 4 days or so. Once this workshop is done, I'll put those slides together, send a PDF. So even in case you didn't take notes, you have the PDF.
Yeah. So the next question is, what happened to your good guys versus the bad guys in
Oh
Chibi?
yeah, I'm so busy, man. Why did this turn into a Q&A session, and why are you guys putting me on the spot right now? Huh? I was just literally looking at it right now. I think that's going to be in this workshop. Yeah, I need to do like 3 more characters to finish that off. Just handling too many things. Look at me. I need to prepare for this workshop. I need to do this. I need to draw on camp. I need to do YouTube, and basically I'm spread thin. And yeah, you get the point.
It's 7:16 right now.
7:16. Okay, right. How many people are in right now?
4:35.
All right, let's start. Folks, are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts. Just kidding. All right, that's stupid. Anyways, all right, so let's start over again. Welcome to the character design crash course. For those who don't know me, I don't think that's a thing. But anyways, I'm Kesh. I'm an artist, illustrator. I make YouTube videos and stuff. And this workshop, right? I want to restart things. So for everything that I do, every lesson and workshop that I do, I have a particular switch couple. I have I need to keep on giving this thing. Uh, I have like goals, right? For every workshop, for every learning lesson that I do, I have goals because that really orients me. And for this entire thing, the goal is this: design original characters from scratch. And here's what we're going to do in this workshop. We're going to cover my processes, the framework that I use to design characters, right? And also the principles that I use to, design characters. So one is more like how to draw characters, right? The process. The principles is like how to design, because there is a difference between drawing and design. And also, listen, I'm trying to cramp in a lot of things right here into this workshop, into this very small workshop. So I'm going to stick to the 80-20 rule, which is I'm going to focus on the 20%, right? That's going to give you 80% of the results, right? So that is a thing. And also, I'm going to give you the syllabus of the curriculum as to say how to the approach. Wow, God, that I just stammered right there. How to approach the process of learning to design your own characters. How do you learn the process of designing characters, right? So that is sort of like the summary of what we're going to do. And think of this entire workshop like a super 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 short summary of drawing camp, except we're just focusing on the essentials, and we're going to touch base on a lot of things, but I'm just going to give you like a one page, because this workshop is like me trying to condense 7 books of Harry Potter into like one page. It's basically going to be like Harry Potter was born, he met Voldemort, he went to Hogwarts, and he killed Voldemort. So, and he named his son Albus Severus Dumbledore. No, Potter, sorry. So that is how this workshop is going to be. It's going to be like a one-page type deal, right? So let's start again. Like I told you, the goal: learn to draw and design your own characters, and also learn how to learn. So I just want to keep on hammering on that because I keep forgetting what the goal is, and yeah, things just get messy. Cool. Let's start, shall we? All right. That's a very crude drawing right there. All right. So you're here, right? So maybe cut back to me. So you're here, right? So I want to start here at the blank page. The blank page is where we all start. And we're like, man, I want to design my own characters. I want to design my own things that tell stories, these little creatures, these whatever these things are, right? And you're clueless, but you are good at drawing. You know how to say, you know how to look at other people's drawings and copy them, right? You're good at doing that. You've been drawn for like a long time, and you've been doing all of this. But when it comes to the blank page again, right? Switch. Man, this is gonna get weird. You're sort of clueless. You're sort of clueless as to say how to you're sort of clueless as to say how to come up with your own things from scratch, because inside that brain of yours, you're a little bit scared and also clueless as to say how do you come up with these own character, these characters and stuff, right? So that is the little story right here, right? So what I'm going to give you is sort of like a three-phase approach, right? The a three-phase process to learning the art of designing characters. It's very simple, and every single phase is very, very important, and we need to go through them like one by one, right? So the three phases are this. First up is foundations. Wait, let me change my slide. This is the part where I need to change the slide. I'm new to this thing. So first up is foundations, right? So this is the part where we focus on like the basics. We need to get right in order to learn character design well, because here's the thing, buddies, right? I've seen a lot of people, right? I've seen a lot of people want to learn character design and things like that, and you look at their designs, it's missing a lot of things. It doesn't look right. It looks crappy in a sense. No offense, right? And that is probably because one has not gotten their fundamentals right? So we need to get the fundamentals right, and that is during the foundations phase. I'm going to show you what are all the mini skills that you need to learn in order to get your foundations right. Next up is design. This is the part where we focus on the principles that we need to learn, right, in order to design our own characters. Because I want to make this distinction, which is knowing how to draw a character is different than knowing how to design a character. See, you already possess the skill to draw. You can look at things. Most of you, actually, a lot of you who are watching this thing, you already possess the skill to draw something by looking at it. You're like probably good at that, or at least okay at that. But when it comes to designing something out of your own head, you're sort of clueless. And that is the missing equation where I come in and we solve this part. Because knowing how to draw, yeah, sure, most people know that. Knowing how to design, that is a key thing, right? So the third step is the creation. This is the process where we put the things, right, we learned before, like foundations and design, and see, okay, what is the process of designing a character from start to finish? What are all the steps that I need to go through? Because the first two are like principles, are like knowledge, right? These are the things that you learn, you put into your head. The third one is more like how do you apply the things that you've learned and come up with the result that you want. So that is basically it for the three phases that we are going to go throughout this workshop. And also, trust me, this is going to be long. I think it's going to be long, a little bit long. So character design, right? Character design is a skill. Like that is one main thing that we need to keep in mind, which is it is a skill that you learn. And when it comes to learning something, right? When it comes to learning something, you have this big skill, right? And what you need to do is, in order to learn something, you need to dissect that big thing into smaller mini things, into what like to call smaller mini skills. And once you dissect those things, you pick one, you focus on that thing, you get good at that, and then move on to the bigger one, right? So big skill, dissect it into smaller mini skills, and learn. That is how you do it. So within the three phases that we have when it comes to character design, we have the foundations and the design and the creation. And within those three main phases or three main levels, you have smaller mini skills that you need to focus on, right? And each of them are different, and you need to focus on those things one by one. You need to do deliberate practice with the things that you're learning. And once you do that, you'll go on to the bigger thing, which is character design, the bigger skill, get good at the bigger skill of character design. So yeah. Alrighty, cool. Right. Let's start with the first one. Let's see if let's give myself like a challenge. Let's see if I can actually keep the first part within 30 minutes. All right. So yeah, foundations. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you all the mini skills that we need to learn within each things. And I'm going to give you one actionable tip that you can start doing today, right today, in order to apply what you've learned, right? So it's going to be like, what is the thing and how do you learn it, right? So that is how it's going to be for everything from now on. So it's going to be like lesson and action plan, how you're going to apply those things. right? So this is the part where a couple had to, forgot to add like a crappy photo of my drawing here. Let's see if I can actually find that. Wait, where is that photo of my crappy drawing? Wait, I was searching for it because I need that drawing to make a point. I don't have that drawing. Darn. Couple, I thought you airdropped it to me, man. Wait. Where is that drawing? Oh yeah, there you go. See? Okay, here's the thing. Most people's characters look like this, and there's a reason for it, right? This is a drawing of mine from like 5 to 6 years ago. This is how I draw. This is how I basically drew. Like to give you like an example, this is how I draw these days, right? So you can see just by applying principles, right, things, you can go from this to this, right? But anyways, if your drawings look like this, don't be dissatisfied or don't be disencouraged or whatever that word is. Man, I'm bad at English, especially today. Right? Don't be, because the biggest problem is this. The biggest problem is you lack foundations. The biggest problem is you lack the fundamentals. Now, what people do is, without focusing on developing their fundamentals, they jump straight to learning things like designing a character and finding their style, right? This is like the one of the worst mistakes a beginner artist or anyone who's just starting out, who's having this problem of not being able to design their own characters, do. Because you're learning to drive on day one. You're learning the ABCs, the accelerator, the brake, and the clutch, and steering wheel, and all that. And on day one, you're trying to sign up for like a Formula F1 race, right? It's like a bad idea. And your characters and your designs look bad because you lack the fundamentals. And I think so I've sort of already nailed in on these things in the past couple of workshops or lessons or YouTube videos and all that thing, right? So let's get down to the practicals. All right, Keshav, I know I'm bad at fundamentals. What should I do? Give me the steps, right? So here's what you do. We need to focus on 4 mini skills. We need to focus on 4 mini skills within the fundamentals. And here's the thing. You don't need to master them. You don't need to be a master of fundamentals in order to draw characters like this. Do you like these characters? Does these things look good to you, to your eyes? I mean, it looks decent to my eyes, and I'm no master of fundamentals at all, right? I know how boy, that just I know certain things like lines and shapes. I know in perspective, I know gesture, I know flow. I'm no master at it by any way, shape, or form, and I can draw stuff like this. And most people, you don't need to be masters to get good at art or even to draw things like this. You just need to be good. And most people can be good, right? So here are the 4 mini skills, right? 4 mini skills are lines and shapes, flow and gesture, forms, perspectives, and light and shadow. Now, I'll go through each of them one by one. All right. So first up, all right. I think we skipped the where's the next slide? Darn it. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, got it. I got the slide here. I missed the slides. Lines and shapes. There you go. Right. So I want to sort of quickly run over these things. Right. For most people who are watching, I think who have attended my previous workshops or my free course on drawing camp, right? You all know this thing, right? And I keep hammering on this thing. The line is the fundamental unit of a drawing. If you look at this entire drawing, the line is the fundamental unit of a drawing. If you say take mathematics, numbers are the fundamental unit of mathematics, right? Like that, in drawing, the line is the fundamental unit. Mark making, that's why they call, I know that's another name for drawing, mark making, right? So you need to get good at learning how to draw the line well. And that is a very, very important skill right there, because I'll tell you why. I'll show you a beginner's drawing, which I got yesterday. And he's a 13-year-old kid, and I'm so happy for him, doing the thing that he's doing. He's a good kid. He's slowly learning stuff, and if you look at it, his line work is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. But if you get good at line work, right, there is a difference between doing your lines like this and doing your lines like this. See, this is more controlled. I have good motor controls in my hand, and that is because I've practiced this a lot. Versus this, right? You can do this too. You can feather things if you know how to feather things. See, this is me feathering. And why do I stress on this, right? Why do I stress on this? It's very, very simple, right? For me, if you don't, wait, let me choose it rare. If you don't master the line, your drawings can't look good. You need to know how to control your hand. You need to know just you know you need to know how to control your hand with the way you move lines. Work is like, man, you need to work on your line control, right? And if you do that, your drawings will be far better in quality, far better in execution. So line is fundamental unit of drawing. You need to work on that. And the next thing is, right, in case you're painting things, shapes is the fundamental unit of a drawing as well. As in, if you look at this drawing, it's just a bunch of old shapes, right? So very, very simple things. If you dissect them down to like its core essentials, you got these random wonky shapes going on. Now this, if you look at it like this, it looks kind of weird. So this is the point right here. I want you to look at things in terms of lines and shapes. Now if you want a more detailed drawing everything, but I went in depth into this whole principle of lines and shapes. So the key here is this: in this first part in your journey to learn, characters, drawing characters, you need to focus on two things. One, get good at practicing motor controls. So here's the action part. Here's the action part, right? Get good at motor controls. What can you do to do that? Do lots of lines. It's as simple as that. Do lots and lots and lots of lines. Do lots and lots and lots of shapes, circles, spheres, triangles, right? Now, why? What is the main point of this entire skill? It's very, very simple. Get good at controlling your hand as different shapes, right? If you have an image like this, you need to be able to dissect it down to the shapes that you can see, right? Something that's simple for you to comprehend. See, if I look at this entire drawing, I see more than just few shapes. I see a combination of like different contrasting shapes. I see a bit of triangle going on right here, right? I see a bit of boxiness going on right here, and that is sort of contrasting with a triangle right here, and that is sort of creating a very interesting effect, an interesting design, an interesting photograph in general. Why does this photograph, look appealing? Other than the guy is just good looking, but right. The thing is, there are contrasting shapes in this entire thing, and if you look at the hair is contrasting with the boxy nature of the face, and the boxy nature of the face is contrasting with the triangular nature of the collar, and the triangular nature of the collar is again going against the boxy nature of the body, right? Look at that. So much within just one thing. So here's the one thing for this thing, right? And that's online called Begin Drawing. It's free, 100% free, right? Just go and do it. It's simple. It's simple. It teaches you the principle of learning to see things. It teaches you the principle of motor controls. How do you control the thing? Because these are the basics. It's like wearing socks. You need to learn how to wear socks, then only you can go for like shoe shopping. Man, that's a nice metaphor right there. Right? So yeah, so that is the first skill: lines, shapes. Get good at lines, learn to see the things around you in simple basic shapes. Next up, when it comes to character design, see, why am I going through all this? Because see, the character which you saw right here, right? The thing which I showed you, where's that slide? This character, how does this come about, right? First up, it all started with lines and shapes. And then comes the second mini skill, which is flow and gesture. Then I'll show you what are all the other things that went into the creation of this character, right? So, one, what do I mean by flow? So when I say flow, here's what I mean. Flow is creating a sense of coherence and connectivity. Let me use red actually. A sense of connectivity within the different shapes, the different lines, the different parts and groups of your drawing, so that when you look at the drawing, right? When you look at the drawing, it has a sense of life to it, right? You can see that it's moving, it's nice, it has it has breadth to it, right? It's not like a still sculpture. So if another thing, right, if you look at people who are just starting out, and people who have been drawing for like 10 plus years, you can see this one main thing within their drawings, like I told you, right? This, look at this, look at this, so much stiffness, so much lifelessness, so much jagged edges. Look here, look here, right? So much jagged edges. But something that I've drawn today, right now, look at the flow there, right? Look at the flow in terms of things like the different shapes, right here, and the way this thing flows well together with this shape, right? And the way the hat works with this, because there is an entire connection between this, right, that goes in like this, and there is a block, and continuing with this block goes the leg, and it all flows well together. So this sort of, just boiling things down to the spirit. If your drawings had like a ghost within them, right, sort of this hazy looking ghost that is weird and abstract, that is the life of the drawing, right? And sort of baking it into your drawing is what I like to call flow, right? I think I'm going a bit too much into flow. I don't know if I have the time. How long has it been since we started the couple?
27,
Huh?
27 minutes.
It's been 27 minutes. All right. So how is it going? So far, guys, clear on things? Are you like, if you're clear on things, say yup or yes or something like that, right? Are we clear on things so far? Am I going too fast or going too slow? How we looking? How we looking? How we looking?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes?
Fist
Yep.
bump.
Fist bump. Good.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Good. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So flow is this thing, right? So simple thing, right? Simple tip when it comes to learning flow. People call it gesture in the world of art and drawing. People call it gesture. I call it flow. So, and most people cannot put it into words other than just say, they usually say stuff like, hey man, have something called the line of action. Focus on that and you'll be right. Line of action is probably one of the most simplest representation of the spirit of your drawing. I want to highlight that thing again. It's the simplest of the spirit of your drawing, because the spirit is what gives life to your art, right? But it's more of like an LKG lesson, so sort of like a kindergarten lesson, right? But to create even more flow within your drawings, I'm going to give you like 2 tips right here. Here's how you create flow. First up, you need to create a coherence. Wait, oh man, this new layer thing. You need to create a coherence between the different shapes of the drawing. See the way the flow, it flows from one segment of the drawing to another thing. And then you have this, the neck. Even the curvature here on the neck is sort of adding to the spirit, right? And then look at the way, look at the lines that I've made. So here's what you need to do. Make sure you create some sort of like a coherence between the shapes, the different shapes of the drawing, right? And also the different parts of the drawing, the head, the way it flows with the body, and the body, how it flows with the legs, right? That is one kind of flow. And also making sure the way the lines flow, right? And then like this, because this is what gives that really nice dynamism to your art, right? This beautiful fast marks here, all these things just go well with together. It's a sort of like a dance of sorts, and it's a skill that you learn, and the way you learn it is by like this, focusing on creating coherence within the shapes, different parts of your drawing, and also the different lines and marks of your drawings, and the different overall language of shapes within your drawing, right? There's so many things going on within your drawing. Like certain parts will be very boxy and circular in nature, rounded in nature. Certain parts will be sharp. So sort of creating a coherence between that and creating sort of like a dance movement within them. So that is flow. And here's the actionable exercise that you can do to do this thing. One is learning how to do fast marks or get pictures online of random subjects. Like we had a picture right now, right? Just get pictures, see how fast I'm doing things, get pictures, and just do like quick flow studies. Or that's what I like to call it. I want you to sort of do these studies within like 30 seconds or so, and within 30 seconds you study the entire thing, right? So that is one. So one, you're learning how to do fast marks, and by you learning how to do fast marks, you're practicing the art of thinking less. And when you think less, your lines tend to be way more nicer, and when your lines tend to be way more nicer, you get more beautiful drawings, right? So that is one thing. And also, when you see certain drawings, practice line of action. What is the line of action? If I had to boil this entire drawing down to a single line, what would that line be? That is the line of action that captures the spirit of the drawing, right? So that is the actionable tip here on second mini skill. So we're done with two so far: lines and shapes, flow, gesture, right? Cool, awesome, great, buddy. Keshav, what's next? What's next in this world of character design? What is it? Well, it's this one: forms and perspective. If there is one thing, right? If there is one thing that you can take away from this entire class, it's this: learn to draw boxes. Yeah, I'll tell you why, right? So you had this drawing before, right? We had this drawing before. Let me turn that thing on, right? You have this drawing before, okay? Oops, where's the bloody layer? G, Keshav, come on, where is it? Oh yeah, it's this one. So you have this drawing, right? If you sort of break it down to its simplest forms, this is how it looks like, right? Simple forms. Now I want to sort of differentiate between shapes and forms. Shapes are two-dimensional, right? Most people call these things, right? These things shapes. I call them forms because I want to create a classification between them, because shapes are 2D, forms are sort of a representation of 3D objects in the 2D space when it comes to drawings, right? So simply put, shapes 2D, forms 3D, but the wordings matter there, right? So learning to draw forms and different kinds of forms. So what are the simple basic forms that you need to learn to draw in order to design characters well? We're still in the foundations, by the way. These are all like the simple stuff. These are all the basics you need to get right. So three basic forms. Number one, the most important one: learn how to draw the box in different perspective. That's Praveen. Right. I mean, if you heard that. So here's the thing, right? So how do you draw the box in different perspective? It's a simple thing. You need to learn 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective. I don't think I can teach you all of that right here, but simply I use the Y method for the box. I'm going to give a shout out to Draw Box, right? I sort of learned it from him, and it's been a couple of years, and it's a great thing, which is you start out with the Y, because the box has a couple of axes going on in one direction, sort of X, Y, and Z, and you just start with the Y, and you can always find the Y in different boxes, and the lines that are parallel to this all go towards the same vanishing point, meaning this line and say this line, they all go to the same vanishing point. The lines that are parallel to this, they all go to the same vanishing point, like this one, even this one, right? This one, right? And parallel to this, go to the same vanishing point. So with these methods, right, you can sort of draw different kinds of, boxes. You just put the Y, and you can just simply draw them like this. See, just crappy boxes. I think that's a bad box right there. But yeah, you get the idea. Learn to draw boxes. Why do you need to learn to draw better boxes? It's because this. It's because of this. With boxes, you can draw other things like cylinders. With cylinders, you can draw things like cone. With boxes, you can learn to draw things like spheres. Now, why do you need to learn all this? It's because these are the things, spheres, right? Spheres, boxes, triangles, these and cylinders, these are the things that makes up majority of character design. Learning to draw these forms and the combination of these forms. You don't draw the forms in their raw nature. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. The combination of these forms is what gives birth, I don't know, mustache is a nice draw, to these characters. And that's how you draw them. You need to get good at drawing these things in different perspective. And that's what this whole thing is all about. You need to learn to draw them in different perspectives. So the way you do that is simply do this: learn to draw the box well, and within the box, learn to draw the cylinders, the spheres, and the cones, and the triangles, or whatever you want to draw. A triangle is not a form, but yeah, you get the idea, because that is important for you to design your character. So, actionable tips: draw boxes. Take the 50 box challenge, or 100 boxes. Draw like 100 boxes. Draw like 10 boxes per day. Random boxes. Have like something like this, right? This is a box actually. Just boil it down. Find the Y here somewhere, right? And just draw boxes in different angles. And two, learn to draw these boxes and forms and different kinds of forms in perspective. And learn to draw a combination of these forms. That's how you build to being able to draw the basic structure for a character. So you have the lines and shapes, basics. Add lines and shapes on top of a beautiful spirit, that is flow, and add the spirit to a solid form, that is the base structure of the character. And last but not least, you add some good lighting and shadow to it, you get a beautiful base for your drawing. So that is how this whole thing works. That is the fourth mini skill, which is light and shadow. Know how light and shadow works, and this, because this gives you the depth that you want in your drawings. So, Keshav, this is a big subject, man, because it is a big subject. Light and shadow is a very big. I think all of the things which I just mentioned right now, everything is a bloody big subject. I'm like, each one is like a one Harry Potter book, one page. Harry Potter came, right? So you get the idea. And I'm trying to really do a good job with, trying to simplify these things down to sort of like a short summary. But here's what you need to know when it comes to light and shadow, right? Man, this is like a super short lesson right here. Here's the thing. You have a sphere, or you have an object where they're in a world where there's no light. Basically, then you cannot see it. And when there is light, there's going to be some sort of illumination. Wait, let me alpha lock it. Yeah. When there's light, there's some sort of illumination. And the shadow, the attached shadow is formed. And when there's illumination, there's a bit of illuminated area as well. And then forms the cast shadow of the object, and then forms the occlusion shadow, where basically light cannot enter. What is that? Right, this is the best thing. Put your two fingers together, right? Two fingers together. Do you see a black line between that? That's occlusion shadow, a part where light cannot enter. So that part is basically dark, right? And then there is a little bit of highlight or something like that, right? A bit of highlight. So what am I trying to say here is this thing. You need to learn the basics of lighting, which is simply like this: illuminated area, terminator. Terminator is basically the area where light gets cut off. And then there is the cast shadow. Wait, where is that? Yeah. And then there is the cast shadow that is attached to the object. And then there is the illuminated area. Then there is the reflected light, or highlight as some people like to call it. You learn this. Why do you learn this? It's simple. Wait, let me show you another example. Why do you learn this sphere? I love the basics, man. I'm not even kidding. I just love the basics, because that's all you need to know. And once you know that, you can pretty much do everything. Let me show you this. Because learning how light affects that small part of a sphere is what allows you to move on to more complex objects than just sphere. So you have a sphere on the head. Then it also has boxes, and then other shapes. So if light is coming in from here, you know that certain areas goes under shadow, right? Why? Because you know the basics. Certain areas like this, all of them go under shadow. This area is going to be even more under shadow because it's completely on the other side. If you're hearing some weird noises, just completely don't mind them, right? And this area is going to be under shadow. So now, and this area is going to be slightly under occlusion shadow, and this area too. And this area is going to be slightly darker. This area is going to be slightly darker here as well, and probably this area, right? And the neck, and yeah, there's going to be the shadow right here. So, Kesha, how do I know this? How do you know this? How do you know all of this? Because simply by understanding the simplest form, which is a spear, and evolving the knowledge that I got from that to other things, sort of leads to this, where you're able to understand light and shadow in different settings. Whew. Those are the four mini skills, right? So here are the actionable things for light and shadow. Learning how to draw light and shadow. Draw lots of spears. Draw lots of spears in different lighting condition, and learn to draw. Take your shape combos that you have drawn in the previous thing, right, where you've combined different forms to form these different organic forms. Put them under different lighting condition. This is an organ. This is a combination of different forms, like cones, like spears and cylinders and boxes, right? This is a combination of different forms. That's why I'm telling you to learn to draw different forms and different perspectives. Put them together. Put them in different lighting condition. Once you do that, you have this, right? You have the base structure, which is how to draw, right? You've learned how to draw, not how to design characters. You've learned how to draw. The foundations, it's set. Why do I do this? All right, cool. So that is the first part of this workshop. So how are you guys finding it so far right now? Are we clear? Let me grab some water right now. So how are we finding it? Any doubts, any questions? I want to sort of, I can answer your questions if you want to. I don't know. Put it on me. They need to see that I'm a normal human drinking water. So, any questions so far? If you're clear, say I, Captain. Maybe don't say that. Just say I, or AYE, or YES.
They're asking you to draw a character so that they can understand him better.
Oh, I'm going to do that. That is part of the third process, creation. I'm going to show you how I draw the character from scratch, so you can sort of get a better idea. How long has it been since we started the workshop?
It's 43 minutes.
Folks, it's going to be a long workshop.
Minus that 15 minutes we will.
Oh, all right. So sort of like 30 minutes. Oh, fine. Now we're on time. That's weird. Okay, cool.
A lot of aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. Is that a captain with a K? Because I only like captains with a K, not C. What world are you in? All right. Any questions that I need? How to ink? Okay, that is a skill. Okay, the way you learn to ink, right? So this is something that's common. Maybe you can add it as part of your foundation skills. But let me just sort of show you. Put this thing in. Wait, where does that line work? Yeah. So when you go to the first part, right, first mini skill, which is lines and shapes, what you will be learning is this, right? You'll be learning how to draw lines, simple lines like this. I'm just doing a quick lesson on inking, like horizontal, verticals, right? Waves. Now you've drawn these lines in different directions. Then you learn to manage pressure, which is thick to thin, thick to thin, or thin to thick, thin to thick, or thin to thick to thin to thick to thin. There you go, right? So video, which is I have this video online called How to Ink, detailed video on literally learning how to ink, right? So you can go and check that part out. But the basic premise is I want you to do it like this. I want you to first take my free begin drawing course and then go to my how to ink video, which will sort of fill that gaps as to say how do you ink things. And also inking tip, pro inking tip. This is how I did it, right? Ink every day. That's a very bad the streamline on this message too much, but ink every day. That's how I learned how to ink. I was inking every single daily sketch that I was making, and therefore inking became easier for me. So yeah, that is it.
So can you have more than one line of action?
What?
Can you have more than one line of action?
Yeah. Okay, see, it's all about principle. It's all about simplicity, right? If someone asked me, hey Keshav, boil this whole thing down to just one line of action, this would be it. This would be it. But I see more than just one line. When I see this thing, I see this, right? And I see this. See, if I turn this thing off, where is the off layer? Where is it? Yeah. If I turn this thing off, I see different things. And all of these lines, right? All of these lines are flowing well with each other. So you can have basically line of action is what it's called. It's line of action, usually determined to indicate the bigger action in a particular thing. For example, if you look at this drawing, what is that drawing? If you look at this drawing, the bigger action is this. He is where is okay. He is he's trying to control the ball, the way he's trying to control and pivot his leg, right? All these things are different actions. So there are one large action, and then there are smaller actions for which you can determine certain lines or spirit for. I like to call it spirit because line of action is mostly invisible, and that's how you need to treat it as. You shouldn't be like, yeah, right? It's like sort of an invisible structure. And yeah, by the way, is it fine if I go into detail like all this, or should I like stick to the schedule, right? If I have to stick to the schedule and just do it like this, say yup. Or if you want to go elaborate on all these little things, say dup. I don't know why I just came up with the word. Yeah. Is it fine if I go elaborate, or
I think they're typing the answers.
what are they typing? What are they
Detail,
typing?
elaborate.
Elaborate?
Yup, yup.
Dup, yep.
There's a lot of details are dup.
Okay, so you like me go and elaborate into this whole thing. That is nice. Fine then. Cool. Super. Yeah. What else? One more question and we'll move on to the next part of this
Do
thing.
you have any exercises to get better at flow?
Yeah. Okay. I gave you one. Okay, maybe I should sort of be more slow in explaining that. So here are the two exercises that I'd like for you to do, right? So one, fast marks. Take pictures, right? Reference pictures and do fast 20 to 30-second studies of them. I'm giving you one thing to do. That's all you need to do. That's going to give you 80% of the results. So I want you to listen to me very carefully, right? I want you to take pictures. I want you to take pictures of different things. Where is this picture? Yeah, say you have this picture, right? I want you to do a quick 20-second study of this picture like this. Right. Okay, this is a 20-second study of this guy. And what happens is it's sort of making you think less and quickly it forces you to come up with certain lines and shapes that you would probably never come up with, and that will result in a beautiful design that really works, right? So if I take this thing, right, right, and I can pretty much convert this into a nice character, and that is because I have a good base, and the base is the flow, right? And the base is the flow. And this is the exercise that you need to do. take pictures, and I'm just simple. That's there you go, right? So something like this. Quick, and hey, look at the light and shadow right here. See, see the shadow shapes. Look at that. See, when you learn how to draw, right, or understand light and shadow, and transfer that to your work, it shows and it gives you a good result. So there you go. So that's the exercise. That's one exercise that you can do to quickly improve your dynamic drawing. Yeah, what else? What else, couple?
Which brush are you using?
I'm using this brush called the Sketchy Set from Aliha something. I don't know her name. Aliha. I think that's how you. Aliha. I got this HB sketch pencil. So I think I'm done for this particular section. I think we need to move on to the next, folks. So shall I move on to the next one? Give me just the word yes, and I'll move on to the next section. If I get a lot of yeses, I'll move on to the next one. Yes, no.
I think they're typing.
They're trying to copy. No,
No, they're typing. They're typing.
the typing. It's like, why would they try to
Yes,
copy?
yes.
All right, folksies, let's move on to part 2, which is design. Ah, man. Breather. Wuchi finger hold. Okay. All right, design. Right. So far, you've learned how to draw. Right. That is the thing. Or if you've not learned how to draw yet, you've learned the things that you need to learn in order to learn how to draw. Right. So from there, you need to learn how to design. So when you're sitting down on that paper, in front of that paper, and you don't know what to design or what to draw or how to come up with your own original characters, it's because you lack basic design principles or basic design thinking. Simple. Because I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. I think I don't need the slide. You need principles because design, when you're designing something, design is all about making decisions. And the way you make decisions is through by the eyes of the principles or through the lens of a principle. For example, right? For example, you have the pencil, the Apple pencil right here, right? I just want you to think of Apple, one of the greatest things that has happened in the past century, right? When you look at Apple products, they have a specific style of design. Why is that? Because they have a specific set of principles. What is that? High quality, simplicity, and just high experience, just awesome experience. These are principles, and these principles will inform the decisions that they're making when it comes to designing something. One of the principles that Apple uses: don't design useless products, right? Right. Think of the PDA that they came up with in the something when what was it in the 80s? PDA, palm PDAs. It was a dud. It wasn't working. But the touchscreen iPhone did. Why? Because the PDAs used a stylus. The touchscreen iPhones, it had a thumb. It was convenience, right? Another principle of Apple: create convenient products. You'll make a lot of people buy products and make you rich, right? So that's the thing, right? That's a design principle, right? That like that, character design has a certain set of principles, right? The way you see it, right? You adopt those principles, it will help you inform the decisions that you're making when you're trying to design a character. Because when you look at a character, it's nothing but a bunch of decisions. What do I mean by that? I'm making a decision right here, right? I'm just going to put this like this. Yeah. I'm making a decision right here to make this nose like this instead of making the nose like this. I'm making a design decision right here to make the hat like this instead of like this, even though that looks good too, right? The thing is, every single mark, every single line, every single little thing that I'm doing here is just me making decisions. And when you make a bunch of right decisions, you get a nice looking character. Might not be perfect, but you'll get a nice looking character. So, is it here? Yeah. No, switch to this. So, how do you make good decisions? Through principles. What are the principles? Simple. Just focus on learning these 7 principles. These are the 20% that's going to give you 80% results. There are some other things as well, but if I had to just pick a couple of few that really works, it's these things. One is shapes, flow, simplicity, representation, balance, variation, and clarity. I'll explain to you all what all these things mean, right? So, shapes. First principle. So another thing, right, guys? Like I'm like taking this big of a lesson and putting it like this small of a thing. So I may not exactly cover the whole 9 yards, but I'm gonna try and do most of it. But this is not it. There's like so much to it more. But I'm just trying to stick to the simple stuff, right? So when you're designing characters, make sure you have, say, one major shape that represents a character and a bunch of ancillary shapes, maybe if that is a word. If that is side shapes, is that the word, right? Side shapes, right? So when you're designing a character, make sure there's one crucial shape language. I'll also tell you why, because this is also sort of the principle of clarity as well, right? One crucial shape that represents the character. So if you look at these characters, boxes, sort of pyramids, sort of this blobby thing. And if you look at some of my other designs as well, right? Let me show you more. Couple, you had to put so many groups, huh? Right? Look at this thing. Shapes that I put in. Now, this is not shape language, right? That's another principle, which is shape language. That's a completely different subject. I'm going into it today because it's too big. This shapes, just focusing on using primary shapes in your design. Because what with the time that we have right now, I think that seems like a good advice. If you look at this thing, so many rounds, I just thought, okay, this the language in this design should be just rounds, and that is the primary round, and so many ancillary and secondary rounds. Just look at that, just a bunch of rounds. And this is sort of like, a triangular thing, right? Sort of like a triangular shape right here for this entire character. And that's what I was sort of going for, sort of like a building. And you take this one, right? A bunch of characters which I designed. What happened? No, nothing. Nothing. So a bunch of characters which I designed right here. All of these things have, say, key crucial shapes that I've based them on. So base your character design on key crucial shapes, right? That is number one. And then within those shapes, right, you have these secondary shapes. Let me put it in different colors so you can see it. This is how I think. Secondary shapes. See? So you're sort of cooking things into a. It's like this thing. I love this analogy, which is you have a country, which is the one major shape, right? One major shape. Then you have the states, which are the secondary shapes. Then you have the cities and the towns that are the extra bonus shapes. So you're sort of categorizing things into shapes and into smaller mini shapes. It's sort of you're being this clever puzzle person, and you're trying to bake these shapes into your design, so those shapes actually give you some meaning, right? That is the thing. Now, that's the principle of shapes right there, right? Sort of like a super quick summary. But that principle is useless without flow, in the sense that the way you need to draw those shapes, the way you draw them is very important. So I talked about line of action, right? So the whole idea and the point behind line of action is a line in the most simplest of forms that represents the emotion that you're trying to give through a character. A line that represents an emotion and an action, right? That's you can call it line of emotion or line of action, whatever you want to. But if you look at certain lines, they give out certain vibe of their own. Some, this happy or open and confident, If you flip it around, it's going to be sad, depressed, and close. Something that's very straight is something that gives you the feel of groundedness, stable and sturdy. This is shaky, something that gives you movement, something that gives you instability, right? So you need to learn, right? Like I talked about flow in the first one, right? Dynamism in the first one. You need to create coherence in between the shapes and between the lines in order to create good shapes in your drawing, right? So those are the first two principles. So are we clear? Are we clear on the first two principles? Any quick questions on that? Because I'll like spend 2 minutes answering questions. Whew. And I'm taking these little breaks in a very clever fashion. What is it? Emmanuel is leaving the office. You want to say bye, Emmanuel? Okay, she's shy. All right, bye, Praveen. Tata. See you. All right, any
Can
questions?
you give some tips for traditional method, traditional artists?
Everything which I just said it applies to you traditionally. I'm just using a digital paper and a digital pencil. If traditional is the same thing, actually.
When will you get a haircut? That's the next question.
Okay, now on to the next lesson. All right. So, simplicity, right? That's the next principle that I have right here, right? When it comes to drawing characters, from your imagination, if you were to just take one thing, it's this: the principle of simplicity and representation. What do I mean by that? It's this, right? When you look at a particular image, such as this, you have so many pieces of information. What do I mean? You have, wait, new layer. Yeah, you have the shape of the face, right? Which is complex, which has so many curvatures, so many bends, right? And then you all have these 1,000 different marks. You have these 1,000 different lines, 1,000 different shapes. Look at that, so many shapes within the simple photo of a face, right? The principle of simplicity is this: you have so many pieces of information, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You just choose the essential that best represents the thing that you want to draw. So basically, if I were to take this drawing, right? If I were to take this drawing and boil it down to its simplest forms, it's this. I'm just like, okay, you know what? The face, I'm just going to draw the shape. Ear, instead of me drawing the ear, like, so many bends and so many things, it's like putting this here, then the texture, then the lighting and all this. I'm just doing this. That's it. That's simplicity. So many pieces of information. What I'm doing, picking the things that I need, and you get results like this, because everything right here is just simpler. The eyes that looks like this, right? The eyes that looks like this has been boiled down to this. That's it. This dot. That's principle of simplicity right here. Now, the next thing is this thing. Taking this small sets of information that you take from this thing. So you have an image, or you have a reference, or you have a thing that you want to draw. There's so many pieces of data, so many pieces of information. You just choose the right ones, 3 to 5 things, and you choose to represent them in different ways as well. So forget the thing, right? You can choose to represent the same data in so many different ways, right? Different languages, different shapes. And the way you do that is by learning to do 4 things: exaggerate, I don't know the entire spelling, distort, modify, and what was the fourth one? I forgot the fourth one. So basically, exaggerating, distorting things. I modified the roundness of face here to something square. I modified it, and I exaggerated the length of his face. See, exaggeration can also be smaller, right? I completely changed the entire shape structure of this thing, right here. But if you look at this thing, you can look at this and say, man, both are the same. right? There's similarities, but there's a complete different representation of the original reference image, right? So that is this principle: simplicity, keeping things simple, choosing the priority things and keeping that in your drawings, and representation, choosing to represent the thing that you've chosen, the data, right? And then trying to put them in different variations. Guys, this is how cartooning is done. This is how stylization is done. It's this simple. You just need to learn this. That's it. So that is principle of simplicity and principle of representation. I want to quickly go through balance, variation, and clarity very quickly. But before that, any questions on simplicity and representation and
Yeah.
diversity and all that?
Should the second shape be coherent to the primary shape?
Should the second shape
Yes.
be
Should the secondary shape be coherent with the primary shape?
should the second shape be coherent with the primary shape? It's your decision. I'll tell you why. If I want to choose something, I'm drawing this one shape right here, and I want this thing to flow well, so well, like this, right? Because I'm drawing this nice face of this guy right here. I'm choosing because that gives me a certain emotion in this character that I'm trying to design. But if I choose not to create that coherence, then that must be I'm trying to give out a different emotion in my design because this gives a different emotion than this, right? So it's like a dance. I'm giving you the toolbox, right? I'm giving you the toolbox, then the tools. You need to choose when to do what and decide what emotion that you want to give to your audience because your characters are being seen by someone else. What is the emotion that you want to convey to them, right? And with that information or with that goal that you have, you decide, should you have coherence, should you have flow, should you have a strict sturdy drawing or something very flowy and free flowing, should you have something sort of like a mix of both? You choose. Yeah.
So the next is, what are the do's and don'ts of the principle of simplicity and representation? Like how far can you boil things
Ah,
down? And
I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Right. So, how far should you go? Right. Great. I'll ask you a simple question. How fast should you run? Probably as fast to a point where you don't kill yourself. Simple, right? Like that. You don't want to simplify things so much down to its core essential where you cannot pretty much recognize the thing that you're trying to draw. If I take this whole thing, I'll just simplify it down, right? I take this, right? Wait, what is that? Yeah, I'll take this. I'll just simplify it even more, like completely. I'll just take the box. Do I need the eyes? Maybe. Do I need the mustache? Probably not. I'll skip it. Do I need the ears? No. The beanie? I don't want the details of the beanie, but I'll just draw like a simple shape to represent the beanie, right? I'll draw the neck. Maybe I'll just draw it with two lines, right? And the hoodie, I'm not going to draw it, so I'm just going to draw like a thing. Does this drawing represent this drawing? It doesn't. Why? Because this is what the modern art people do. I'm just kidding, right? This is pretty much modern art right there for you. But the idea is, I know this is way too far, and I know this is a good thing. Maybe this is not. This is too much. You go the whole 9 yards a lot of times, then you'll know at what point to stop and what point to start. So yeah, good.
so the next question is, do you first pick a reference and draw, or
Mm.
do you have an idea and then you get a reference?
I'll get to this particular thing in the creation aspect, sort of bursting some myths about character design and where character designs come from and all that. But usually, I do have a lot of references when I'm drawing stuff. But I have them in my head actually, because I've seen a lot of things. I've seen way too many things, and I notice those things and I observe those things and I try to memorize those things. So I have this library in my head of the things that I like to draw, and when I close my eyes, I'm able to see those things. It's like sort of like an inbuilt Google, but the search engine is not that it's not working really well. Right? The search is very limited to a small set of things because I'm human and I can only memorize a couple of things. Right? So when I close my eyes, I'm able to see a couple of things, and I'm able to draw inspirations and things from that. Sort of like a pressure cooker analogy. I have this video called How to Draw from Your Imagination. Well, go watch that. And also another video recommendation, which is The Secret Tip to Improving Your Art. Go watch that as well. Right? And don't know what to draw. Sort of like, yeah, all those videos, go and watch those things. So you'll sort of get an idea. Yeah.
How to draw chibi characters.
That's another stylistic decision of you exaggerating. So the one, you need to learn to draw real life characters well. After that, you can learn to draw chibi characters thing. I don't want to get into those specific things, but when I'm creating the final character, right, for this thing, maybe we need to do a part 2 of this workshop actually, because it's getting way too long. Maybe then I can sort of explain a bit more in detail all these little things, chibis and all that stuff, because those things are all just what do you say, divergence of style, or I mean not style, principles, different kinds of principles. That's it. Anything else?
Will you provide a PDF for this? That's one question.
Yes. There is a link down below where you can just give me your email, and I'll send you the PDF in like 3 to 4 days, because I need to, like, once we're done, we need to put all these things together. So much work. Couple can only do so many things. So yeah, I'll send you a PDF of this whole workshop thing. Yeah.
Advice on drawing fabrics like clothing.
Oh,
How to draw clothes of a character.
I don't want to get into it right now, because it's too much time, too much. I want to. That's yeah. Well,
And again, how to study anatomy of a character.
too big. It's like you're asking me how to build a car. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
Take this one, put this together.
How to show emotions, like the facial expressions of a character. Those are the questions.
Man, you guys are asking me big questions. I can go into it. How long has it been?
1 hour, 10, 12 minutes. Cut the 12 minutes.
Okay, you know what? We'll pick the. Okay, so probably we'll do a part 2 of this workshop. We definitely need to do a part 2. So what I'll do is I'll explain the few other principles. Then I'll talk about the emotions and the expressions. And I have a very simple way to capture expressions. I'll teach you that. And what was the other thing? The chibi thing?
Anatomy. Oh yeah, chibi style. And how to draw the anatomy of a character.
Okay. I'll give you a quick anatomy rundown. Or not. I'll see if I can do it, because it's too much time in one video. So all right, let's go into the final 3 principles, right? Then we'll probably do those 2 things. So balance, having balance in your drawings is one main thing. So I want you to think of this, right? Seesaws, right? So this is balanced. This, you know what's going to happen? This couple, you should have flattened the layer so it's easy for me to cut things. This is going to tip to the other side, like that, right? So the way you balance that is by adding more units on one side so that each of it is balanced. Now, how does this apply to drawing? So creating balance in your drawing is important. Take a look at this character. This is sort of balanced or not, because if you apply real world physics into it, it'll tip over. So the way you do it is by balance in your drawings. It depends on the kind of emotion that. Do you want to give a sense of balanced emotion in your character? Balance your drawings. If you don't want to, don't balance them. If you want something in the middle, give something in the middle, right? So if you do want to balance your characters, how do you do it? You need to think in terms of units, right? You have different units, and it's like different parts, different bags and things like that, and you need to balance those things. Have you stacked like rice sacks on one top of other, or school bags on one top of the other, right? You need to put them in certain places and positions so that it all stands straight. So this is the way it works here as well. You need to think in units and balance units, and that is this principle. There's more to it, but this is what we have here. And then Here's the thing: variations. Create variation in your drawings. Unless you are going for something like this, which is something I like as well. This is predictable. And shapes, for example, right? All these lines are just going in ladders. So I'm just varying the lines right here, like the way the lines has been sort of put together. And you can sort of vary the shapes in your drawing. Is it the same thing? Wait, yeah, right? Very different kinds of shapes so that you can create some sort of dynamism in your drawing. Unless, here's the thing, unless if you're going for monotony as part of your design language, then don't vary things. But if you want to add a sense of oomph, that drawing, right, then vary them, right? Vary the stuff. You can create variations in sizes. See, smaller, the hat is smaller, small, big, small, right? Big, medium, small, sort of creating variation in different shapes and sizes in your drawings while you're making them. And that is a quick rundown on variation. And then ladders. Oh, this is simple. Unless you go on for the Rick and Morty style and the Gravity Falls kind of style, avoid ladders, right? Don't create ladders. Meaning ladders, it's like predictable ways of putting the different elements of your in your drawings. You just need to vary them, right? So those are, like, say, key principles. Now, guys, right? I've shown you these things. It's like, whoa, there's way too many things. Wait, I need to keep these many things in my mind when I'm drawing a character. Yes, because, and trust me, it'll get easier over time. But you need to practice them one by one. You don't learn to apply all the principles in one go in one drawing, unless you want to try to. Feel free. But what you do is you do specific exercises for each and every single thing, so that you get good at each and every single thing, and then you, over time, you learn to apply all of those things in like one simple go. Oh boy, I forgot clarity. Silhouettes. This is a common thing, right? uh Man, I want to give like a detailed thing on this, but I'll tell you why people sort of always tell you. Because people, okay, character designs, YouTube tutorials and all of that, those things, right? They've told you, oh, boil your characters down to a silhouette and see if it's clear. Why is the question that you need to ask, and I'll tell you why, right? Why does this exist? Okay, I think it's like this. Yeah. What is this? Nike. What is this? Oh, I think it's like this. Apple, right? And what is this? Let me see if we can guess it. What is this? I think it's Adidas. Okay, I think I got it right. But you get the point. Why are you able to recognize these things really well? Because they are clear and they are simple, right? Simple things travel faster because they're easier to understand. Likewise, your character is a piece of thing that you want to give it to your audience or people who are trying to consume it. And the simpler things are, the faster it travels, right? So that's why people are asking you, hey, boil your character design down to its shapes, and not just character design, also the poses that you're putting them in, and boil them down to a silhouette and see if they are clear. Because Mickey Mouse doing this is clear, right? And if you sort of put it in like a different way, can you? I'll just draw the same thing in like a different angle. So Mickey Mouse is probably like this. Can you see this? Can you see what's happening here? I just flipped the thing, sort of rotated it, right? Sort of rotated it, right? Can you see what's happening here? No, but this is more here. Clarity. That's why people are telling you to draw things in silhouettes, and these are the principles, and you need to practice all these principles. You need to practice all these principles one by one, and while you're drawing them, while you're designing them, you put them into effect. So you know how to draw, you know how to design, or at least mostly how to design, and then you put them together, you learn to draw characters. I'll do a little demonstration as well, but do we have any questions? Do we have any questions?
How to shape a character like you do? The outlines and the outlines are chubby and rounder.
Hmm. Okay, that is one question. I'll get to that. So, how to shape a character like I do? I'll tell you why I draw certain characters the way I do it. All right, that's first question. Okay, I want to do that. And also, someone asked for like emotions and expressions, right? So that is another thing. Chibi.
Yeah.
I'll try to touch on that. Okay, what
How
else?
to draw 3D shapes in different angles.
Hmm?
How to draw 3D shapes in different angles.
Okay, how to build a car? All right, just kidding. How to draw 3D shapes in different angles. You learn 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective. Learn to draw boxes. Like I told you, right? I told you, talked about this thing already. There's nothing more to this. See, it all starts here. 1 point, you draw a box, right? You draw a box in 1 point perspective, right? Like this. Right? Got it? Superb. Now you can draw a cylinder from this. See? I drew a box and I got a cylinder out of it. Then I can get a cone out of it, right? It's like this. If you want to draw a cylinder, right here, right? I'm drawing a box right here, right? And let me draw all 4 sides of the box so that you know what you're trying to get into. Right? So I have this box, and then I'm trying to draw a cylinder in this angle. You learn to draw the box, learn how to draw the box in different angles, and you get a cylinder right here. So the idea is this thing. I just want you to, forget all of this thing. Just draw lots of boxes in 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective. You'll get the answer automatically by going through that process. So like nobody needs to teach you anything. Just draw boxes in different perspectives. Right. Okay.
The next question is, how do you break down characters that other people do? Like, how do you break down the characters? Like Mickey Mouse, how do you break it down?
All right. Well, can you note that question down?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or should I do it right now? Should I give like a demonstration while we're doing it, or
Yeah,
I don't know?
you can give one demonstration of a character.
Okay. I'll quickly give you a demonstration. So first thing, one of the principles which I didn't discuss here is story. Story and the principle of why. Every character, in my opinion, needs to have a purpose and needs to have a justification to exist, or it'll become like Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. Have you seen that character? It has absolutely no meaning, right? It's just like it was put there for a purpose that was not needed, which was comedy. You don't need comedy, especially from that character, right? For those who have seen Star Wars, take any movie where a character exists and it's completely useless, right? So characters need to have a purpose to exist, and you need to act like a lawyer and literally justify the existence of that character. Why do you need to have a purpose? Because purpose defines action. Batman, what's the purpose of Batman? Fight crime. Why? Because his parents has been, he lost his parents to crime. So what does that purpose give him? What does that thing lead him to? Fight crime. And the action of fighting crime requires a certain way you need to do. You can't just go around jumping buildings and shooting grappling guns without looking certain way or doing certain things. You need to learn fighting skills, which will make you more muscular, and that defines the look of the character. See, purpose, action, look. And that is the thing. So when I'm trying to design a character, let's design a character right now, like a quick character. What should I design? Yeah, okay, give me let me design things with you. Give me one purpose word that defines purpose. Or maybe I'm not asking the right question. Give me something like, you know what, yeah, I'll just give you guys the purpose. The purpose of this character is to serve. Serve what? Serve tea, serve coffee. Oh, I thought I was going through metaphysical. Serve the people. No, serve tea and coffee, right? And say serve anything, right? This is the purpose of this character. He serves. This character probably exists in a stadium. He serves things. So, what is the action? Serving things. It's simple as that, right? So, what does that mean? He carries stuff. He has materials. He has things. He has all the things that is required to serve tea or coffee, right? Simple, right? So you have action. And once you have action, based on that action, you decide even the nature of the lifestyle that the character lives. He's not in a hard manual labor job, so he's probably going to be skinny, or she's probably going to be skinny, or and slightly more fat, right? So slightly more skinny, fat character, right? Or maybe even slightly more on the fatter end as well. I'm just going to design a guy because it's easy for me. uh, right. So what I'm doing right here, the first step, right? I'm going to talk about the creation of character design, right, or like the character design process in the next part two of this workshop. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm just doing like a quick thumbnail sketch, and I'm trying to define like the key shapes that are there in my design. So he probably has some sort of a tray or something. I don't know, right? And see, I'm trying to I'm going to break down the character design process even a bit more later on in the next part. But what I'm trying to do here is wait, yeah, it's going to be thumb. I get this wrong all the time. Where the thumb is, right? Thumb is usually on the outside. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to get to a basic structure that I can use and that I can sort of go from. And I'm using all the principles that he has a bag, maybe, so that he carries materials for tea and coffee and all the things. Maybe he has a flask, because since he's not carrying a tin, right? He has a flask that has like an outlet, right? And maybe what he does is he since he sells ready-made coffee, he already has coffee cups. So I'm coming up with things. So what he does is basically buys coffee cups. He has bags of teas in within him, and maybe he's older, so seems like an old man's job. So I'll put up like a beard or something. How did I come up with this beard? How did I come up with the shape of the face? How did I come up with all these things? Right? I'll do a bit more detailed things. But the reason is I've seen way too many beards. I've seen way too many face shapes. Like one of the things, right? Since like for the past 7 or 8 years, once since I learned about face shapes, meaning people have different kinds of face shapes, right? Once I learned that, like every single time I see someone, oh, that's a square face. Oh, that's a triangle face. Oh, that's a diamond face. Oh, that's a oval face. Right? I can sort of classify people into like different kinds of face shapes. So that's why I'm able to quick. This is like a quick thumbnail sketch, and based on that I'll develop things a bit more, meaning I would go ahead right here, try to come up with different ways to convey the face, right? I'll draw, see different forms. I'm just using instead of a simple, see, I'm trying to add more details or less details. I can choose. So I'm doing like a variation right here. So this is just a study. This is like a thumbnail sketch because I'm trying to see which one looks. See, he's in a job that I don't think nobody wants to serve tea or coffee unless it's their business, right? Then they're passionate about that business. If it's some he's being employed for something in a minimum wage esque job, I don't think he's going to be happy. So he's going to have wrinkles under his eyes. He's probably stressed all the time, and he looks a bit crappy and run down. He's wearing that coffee hat that makes him look like a you know that doesn't make him look like good, look well. Or maybe I can just try to design a young-esque character, probably in college, trying to make his way through college. Then he's a bit wide-eyed, right? Because he's still hopeful about the world. He hasn't seen the dark stuff of about the world, right? So he's a bit wide-eyed. He's innocent. He still has these, maybe he's a bit of beard and things like that, cheek. He lost his hair or not, right? And he is a bit happy, fine about his job. Hey, look, I got a job that pays me something to get through college, right? So I design characters and take elements. I think we'll go on to the third part, which is the creation aspect, a bit more in depth, right? In the next one, so that I can show you like how I design a character. But so what I'll do right now is because I think it'll keep on going right now. I'll answer all your questions. So what was the first question, which I wanted to sort of note down?
How to draw chibi style.
How to draw chibi style. Well, here's a simple way. So everything that I give, every answer that I give is always essentials. I'll only focus on essentials. Chibi style, the proportion is this: really big head, and the body is almost two-thirds of the head. That's it. You can some people even, and the legs is half the body, right? Half the body. This is the proportion. Some people even do this: big head, and the entire body fits into this. So the way you draw this is this. Get good at drawing forms, right? Look at me trying to draw a pose in chibi style. So I'm drawing the gesture. I have the body, and I have the legs. He's dancing. Right? The emotions right there, right? Maybe he's bald. Yeah, I'll just so what I'm trying to do here is this, right? Just boiling things down to the essential shapes. No, here's the thing. The best way to draw chibi in a chibi style, so get the proportions right, and then what I like to use this thing, what I like to call the beanbag method. Learn to draw bean bags or rice sacks in different ways. And once you learn to draw these rice sacks, you can put you know hands, arms, and legs to it and get them to draw in a chibi-esque style. And that is what I do. Learn to draw rice sacks and basically, yeah, that's how you draw chibi style. Get the proportions, get the forms. It's simple.
So the next is how do you draw expressions, the facial expressions?
Super simple. I'll give you like a quick rundown. There's obviously more to it, but I'll give you like a super quick rundown, right? Simple. You have different kinds of expressions, right? So when it comes to expressions, you just need to keep in mind 3 to 4 things, right? So I want you right now to smile. Smile. What does it happen? So first put your face back to normal. Normal. Now smile, right? So what does it happen? Cheeks go up, eyes small, right? And the U shape in, this is it, right? If you were to draw the expression in the most simplest form, it's this, right? Now you take this. I have a free course called head drawing, right? Learn the anatomy of the head. And then you take that, you go from there. See what I did there? Just by taking the simplest thing and drew the expression. Now I'll give you another one. Angry, right? Now go back to baseline. Go angry. What happens? Eyebrows comes down, element number one, and eyes widen, right? Oh yeah, I need to eyebrows went down, eyes widened, right? And smile goes frown, right? So simplify it, right? Eyebrows go down, eyes widen, right? Like this. This is sort of angry. If you want super angry, a bit of open mouth, right? So now you take this, right? Add in the elements. And also, if you do this, nothing happens to your nose. If you do this, there's curvature in your nose, right? So nose goes up. Maybe he's yelling, or it is yelling, right? If you want super angry, I'll give you another example. Super angry, get the eyebrows close to your eyes, on top of the eyes, literally on top of the eyes. That's how you get super angry. And you use this as a base to draw different kinds of face shapes, actually. See? Man, art is sometimes very simple, I'll tell you that. I just love this, right? You just need to know what to learn and how to learn it, and you just need to focus on core essential things, right? It's as simple as that. And also there's a bit of things right here and right here. Yeah. So that's how you draw expressions. First boil them down to like a smiley level, and then add in all the different kinds of elements. How you draw the eyes, the nose, the ears, and the mouth. How do you learn how to draw them? I have a free course, Drawing Heads Made Simple. Go take that. All right. So that is the next question.
I think that's
Yeah. How many people are right now? It's
320.
Damn, that's a lot of people. All right. So, okay, here's the thing, right? So, we discussed two out of the three things in this, right? What is that? Oh, yeah. So, I have one more thing right here, part three, which is creations. So, out of the two things, let me just take that out. What is that? Where is that thing? Yeah. So we covered foundations, we covered design. There's one more thing, creations. What I'll do is in the next part two of this workshop, what I'll do is I'll sort of walk you through the process of designing a character, sort of like a quicker, super quick summary of, how do you design a character. So yeah, I'll do that then, and yeah, we'll sort of take it from there, sort of put it on the iPad screen. So we've covered two things, right? Foundations, design, then we have creation. Wait, we're not mirrored, are we? No. Good. Super. So, guys, before we end part one, do you have anything that you want to sort of ask, clarify? How long has it been since we started the workshop?
1 hour 45 minutes.
Ah, that's pretty nice. Okay, good. Any questions, answers, blah, 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 blah,
Do
blah,
you
blah?
come up with the story first or the character first?
Sometimes it's story, sometimes it's character. Sometimes I just come up with this character, right? Have Grumpy right here. Where's Grumpy? Where is he? Oh yeah, there he is. This is an image of Grumpy, right? I came up with the character first, then came the story, right? For some characters, the story comes first, and the character comes later on. So this is Grumpy right here. So anyways, yeah, that is the thing. What is any question? Next question.
So how do you critique your own drawings? Like how do you find mistakes in your own drawings?
By being brutally honest with yourselves, I'll tell you that, and it is not easy. So this is how the cycle goes for me. I learn something, I get decent at it, I draw a couple of drawings, I'm very happy with it, and then I keep on doing that thing, then I get tired and bored. And then that is the point where I say, man, I need to improve. So at that point, I sit down, ask myself, what are the 2 to 3 things that I can improve? I'll improve that. Then my drawing goes to the next level. The process repeats. So that's how I did sort of painting. Can I show you the paintings? Maybe just put it on me. I don't want people to see me instead of browsing. Yeah. So I'll show you, yeah, the paintings, right? This one, Naruto, right? So this was my first experiment at painting, and simply, right, this came about, this entire thing came about because I knew how light and shadow works. It's as simple as that, right? It's like, whoa. And what I did was, I'll show you more. I'll where's the other painting? So I was like, man, I am going to apply the principles of light and shadow to more paintings. Boom, stuff like this, right? And here's another painting, John Wick, right? John Wick. And what am I doing right here? Simply applying the principles so of light and shadow. So that's how you do it. You go through in different phases and being brutally honest with yourself, and what are 2 to 3 things that you can improve in order to take your art slightly to the next level. Each of those little improvements is going to add up, and that's how you grow from like making crappy drawings like I did like a couple of years ago to stuff like this.
Actually, one guy is asking how to do story writing in half an hour and how to make them kind of dramatic. That's
I'll maybe sort of talk about this in the next one. So, anyways, guys, before you leave, sort of want to give a quick shout out to my thing, Drawing Camp. So, in case any of you want a program, a 100-day program, literally where it takes you step by step, literally hold your hand step by step, 20 to 30 minutes per day, where I sit down with you like this and tell you what to draw, when to draw, and how to draw it, and get done everything within 20 to 30 minutes with all the things that I was talking about. Yeah, I have a program. The enrollment closes down in like 7 days. And this is a program that I wish I had when I was younger. And also, right, this is the drawing that this is the exact system which we talked about in this entire workshop, sort of like a super short 1-page summary. So this 2.5-hour workshop is sort of like a 1-page summary of what's inside Drawing Camp, which is like 7 Harry Potter books, because it took us like 1.5 years to make the entire damn thing. It was so big. So yeah, if you are interested in a program that teaches you how to draw like me, This one is it, and we have like 14 different chapters, right? So when it comes to character design, right, all the things that we talked about: drawing foundations, learning how to draw dynamic drawings, forms and perspective, light and shadow, design principles, anatomy and drawing heads made simple, prop design, environment design, and third part. See, same system that I use: foundations, design, creation, and it all takes you 20 to 30 minutes per day to learn. So it closes in 7 days. Enrollment closes in 7 days. If you want to sign up, links down below in the description. If you want the PDF from the workshop, what I'll do is at the end of the second workshop, just send me your emails. I'll just send you like a group email blast and send you the PDF. So that is it for this one. Do you guys enjoy the workshop? Did you like it? Was it good? If it was good, give me like I Captain, like the K, right? The K. I'll wait for that. What did they say?
Yeah, same. What
Mm-hmm.
How to add background characters? Yeah, a bunch of questions. Yeah,
Oh, more questions? Yeah. What is it?
How to draw background for the characters? That's
Environment design. Yeah. I'll not get into that.
I am Captain. I am KAP. Couple.
Oh,
Wait, Captain.
another.
A lot of AI captains.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, freelancing and all that stuff. I'll definitely do a workshop. I'm going to do a bunch of these 90-minute workshops because I love this. I like this. It's so good to talk and listen to yourself because I'm a narcissist. But yeah, so I'll definitely do one. And Sashi, can you go a bit closer to my face? Oh, you can. Oh, that's nice. So yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely do these workshops, these 90-minute workshops. Next time I'll make sure I keep it in under 90 minutes. So yeah, I'll definitely do these things. Freelancing, all of that stuff. I'll make even videos about it, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of those kind of questions.
Those
Yeah, it's a lot of what do you call? How do you add details when you're drawing animations?
You know what, can you save this for the next one? So right, so just want to keep this small because people are going to tune in. Or should I just answer this because people are nice enough to sort of log in and watch this? What are the quick questions? Hit me fast.
How do you prop designs?
Oh, it's so simple. The principles which you just learned, I'll do a quick demo. Principles we just learned, right? Apply them to props, right? Let's say I'm designing a radio or a pot. Let's just keep it simple. Pot, right? Shape. What major shape do I want? Right? Is it a circle-esque shape, or I can create variation by maybe going like starting with a cylinder-esque shape and then, right, going for like something like a boxy pot, right? And can I create variation in different things, right? First, flow, right? Trying to create flow on this thing, right? Trying to one half flow. And then can I make this slightly different? Or can I make it simpler? Can I just draw a pot like this that has no perspective, no three-dimensionality to it, but it's like this? Have you seen those pots in those children's book things where they are like this? You know, they have just the shape. I'll show you the modern children's book style right here. They have just the shape. These bloody cheaters. I'm just kidding. It's a nice style. They just have the shape, and on the shape, right? On the shape, you have things like there's no line work, right? So there's a bit of shadow. See? And wait. And then there are other things like Look at that. What happened? Oh, right, yeah. Look at that. You get these modern styles right now. See, couple is mind blown right now. It's like, holy crap! I can be a children's book illustrator right now. So this is basically, how you draw. This is the thing. This is the thing. And maybe even, if you're like feeling very adventurous, right? I'll just add shadows to already flat object. Oh, right, wrong. Wait, clipping mask. Oh, oops, clipping. What? Right, like that. See, shadow. Yeah, boom. See, it depends on simplicity and all that stuff. So yeah. What else? What question? The prop design was just apply the character design principles to basically props. It's simple.
Advanced Happy Google. Which app do you use to
Thank you.
draw? Then
Huh?
which app do you use to draw?
Procreate. I use an app called Procreate. That's what I use. What else?
Can I get drawing camp after 7 days?
No, actually, we've been closing down enrollments for like a couple of months, or maybe 1 to 2 months, or 3 months even, because we want to sort of streamline the entire school because there's way too many students over there, and we're going to try to provide even a better experience, and we're gonna focus on our existing students. That is the whole goal. So that's why we're closing down enrollments, and then yeah, you'll be able to enroll maybe after a couple of months.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. A simple question is like how to get likeness and portraits and stuff.
Okay, I'm not stuck. I'm just kidding. Well, how do I? Oops, buddy. Wait. How do I get likeness? You know what? I'll save it for another video. I'll save it for another video. Right. So that is it, folksies. Hey, speaking of likeness, right? Look at this thing. I drew this a while back. From this guy, I was like, I want to draw the Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is also the arcane style, by the way. Painting in planes, right? That is another thing. Painting in like different planes and just painting in sort of like boxes, little mini boxes. Maybe I'll do like a separate workshop on that. So that is it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. End live stream in 3, 2, 1. Cut. Is it cut?